Choose close. Mastering Madden.
I wanted to present to you guys a new Blitz setup that I found that you can pair with the last one that I showed, the Cover 2 version, the Eggy Cloud Star. It's very similar to that. It's out of the 4-3 normal again. I know it's, I'd like to give you guys something out of 3-4 or something out of nickel or something like that, but the blitzes and the blitz angles that I get out of 4-3 normal are just really, really good, and I just can't really replicate that anywhere else. But eventually we'll get there. But in the meantime, if you want a complement to that Eggy Cloud Star blitz setup, that really good 3-man blitz, or 4-man or 5-man blitz, however you want to run that, a nice man coverage alternative, because I think man coverage is actually pretty underrated this year, and I think it's going to slowly gain a lot more traction around the community, and I'm going to start using it a lot more. I will say it's a more of an advanced setup. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on, and then a lot of reads that you have to make before the snap to properly make your adjustments. Now, there's a kind of universal adjustment that you can make with this, but if you really want to take it to the next level, then it can get a little more advanced. So in this video, I'm going to show you the blitz setup at a 4-3 normal, and it's a cover 0 blitz. But again, we can do this with 3-man, we can do it with 4-man, we can do 5-man, and we can get really, really creative. Okay, I think it has a lot of good potential because there's actually a smart way to run man coverage in this game, and you'll want to stay tuned to it towards the end of how to actually set up that portion. So we're going to kind of go over the blitz setup, the different ways we can run that blitz, and then how we want to run our man coverage and how we want to use her so that we can be solid against the pass, and then we can also be solid against the run at the same time. So this is something that you could really switch between. You can switch between the Eggy Cloud Star and then this one, and the look actually looks the same, but it's completely different from a cover 2 shell to a cover 0 shell, and you'll see that it's actually not that dangerous of a defense to run. So I'm going to just come out in any play here, and by the way, this is the elites here, so this is the best offensive line in the game, so you don't have to worry about ratings being an issue. And so we'll just put everybody out on routes, but we'll test that out with blocking running back again. So again, we're in 4-3 normal here. What I found so far, really good blitzes that we can work with here. Again, you got the Eggy Cloud Star, which is, by the way, only in a few playbooks. I listed that in that video. I believe the play that we're going to come out with, outside linebacker Fire Man, is in all of them. Okay, so you don't need to go searching deep for this. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now, the setup is kind of strange. So the one thing I want to say right away is, we're only going to have one of these linebackers on blitz, but for whatever reason, it only works to the left side. And I don't mean like the one side of the defense, I mean physically the left side of the field. Okay, so you can't really flip the play and get the same thing. So we're going to be doing that, and that almost kind of works in our benefit too, because for the Eggy Cloud Star, you could get away from a blitzing halfback by just flipping the play, but then it kind of takes a little bit of time to read that. I don't know if you guys have been using that, but I have. You have to kind of read it and then make your adjustment here. Your guy's always going to be on the left. You can do it always. And then there's actually a nice setup that I'll show you that we can get around that blocked halfback. So you're going to want to keep your auto align for your defense off. Okay, so what you're going to want is your 3 technique defensive tackle. So the guy that's furthest, so your defensive tackle that's furthest away from the center, in other words, you're going to want him on the left side of the field. Okay, and the setup is very simple in terms of how many things you have to do just to get the blitz through, and it's pretty much identical as the Eggy Cloud setup. So all it is just pinch your linebackers with R1 and down on the directional pad, and that's it. So I would actually take this other guy outside. You can do whatever you want with him, but we'll show you what you actually want to do with him later on. And so once the quarterback snaps the ball, that's going to come in really consistently, just like that. Okay, so now with that, just ignoring the fact of what's going on with these route concepts for now, we can do the same thing that we did before, where we can put the one technique on a spy, and you can even put this guy on some zone, and you can have a 3-man blitz come through. Now, you probably wouldn't want to do that all the time, but it's still going to work out if you just show you like this. So 3-man cover 0 blitz is going to get through every single time. We're just going to go with that left side. Now, obviously, if we have a blocked running back, if we do that same thing, let's do our setup. He's not going to be able to come in. So we'll watch that. Center actually picks him up there, but you see how he doesn't come in. Okay, so now in the case of a blocked running back, the simple thing we're going to do is a green dog blitz. So a green dog blitz is when you take one of your linebackers. In this case, it's going to be our other outside linebacker, and you're going to man him up on the halfback. Okay, so that's X up on the right stick, and then the icon of the running back, Todd Gurley here, R1. So he's in man coverage here. So you have a few things going for you. So let's just finish this setup here, just like that. And then your middle linebacker doesn't need to be manned up on him anymore. So it's important that it's the other outside linebacker, because what's going to happen is once they have that halfback in a blocked assignment, this guy, since he's in man coverage with them, if he sees that he's blocking, he's actually going to blitz. Okay, so he's going to be a +1 for you in the blitz, and he's going to come. It's going to give you a much better chance of getting that sack, if not 100%. For whatever reason, it doesn't work for the middle linebacker, so you have to do it with the other outside linebacker. So then you're left with, you can user this middle linebacker. So you can pretty much always know that you're going to be using this middle linebacker. The guy on the left is going to be blitzing, and then the guy on the right is going to be man coverage. So if he's man coverage, so let's show that. Okay, so in that case, he actually glitched out. I think the running back, that might be a little bit of a glitch. That running back might not see that blitz as an actual blitz, and he doesn't pick him up. But in a lot of cases, he'll just be overwhelmed with 2 guys, and he won't know what to do. And then you can also contain your ends if you want. Okay, let's. Oh no. Okay, but okay. Actually, that was the next thing I was gonna show is that, and actually, just go on the instant replay here. If that running back does go on a route like a flat, you have the nice added benefit of that outside linebacker going and chasing him down. So if he's on a route, you're gonna get coverage there. Plus, you're gonna get the sack. And as I showed you before, if he's into block, you don't need to cover him. You're going to go blitz and you're going to get that sack. So whatever the running back does, you're going to get that sack. And let's just show it one more time. Hopefully I don't screw up this assignment. Okay. Put him like this, and let's put him into block, and let's run that. So see, it'll usually end up like that. Now, of course, you are sending a lot. And I believe that you can't take away some of the other blitzers. Okay, so let's do. I don't know. Let's put this guy out on a hard flat. This won't work, I believe. So you see, everybody kind of gets picked up. So ideally, what you're doing here is you're just doing the setup that I showed you first, where you're putting pretty much everybody out in zones. And this can be whatever, this can be a 3-receiver hook. This guy can be whatever you want. You can kind of get creative with that. And then you can come out just 3 men, you can get that sack. But if you notice them that they're starting to keep that running back into block, well, you can very easily just do that green dog blitz setup that I showed you, and you can get in that way too. And you have that benefit of coverage if he's on a route, blitz if he's into block, and either way you're going to get that sack, and either way you're going to get the right numbers in coverage and pass and in the blitz. Now, you don't have to worry about this if they're flipped here. If they're flipped here and the running back is into block, you should be able to send 3. And let me just put this guy on this assignment too. Now, things might have got muddied up here when I was flipping around, but you should be able to send 3 against 6 and get in with that pressure just like that. Okay, so there's a lot there that I just, threw at you guys. And actually, if this helps better, if it's kind of all written down for you guys, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely kind of compose something that's a little bit more easy to kind of understand with, which setups you want to do in which cases, I can definitely do that. Otherwise, you may want to kind of rewind and go over that again. So yeah, that's that. You have a setup to get in for a nice sack, and those are quick too. You see, he just rounds that guard and he comes in really quick. So if you have nice, fast outside linebackers, it's going to be no problem for you. Okay, so the blitz is solid. Actually, I might as well show you, like, I had a few questions also, like, what if we start slide protecting and IDing the mic? Well, it doesn't actually do anything. So let's... Actually, the one thing I really hate about this is sometimes your linebackers will be unresponsive, and you'll do the setup. You'll pinch the linebackers, and this guy will just stay here. Or out of the huddle, he'll come down automatically and go down here, and you can't get him back. So that's the one thing I kind of hate about that. These kind of forced animations that you don't want. So sometimes you might have to just scrap it. You see, like, what he's doing right there. But luckily, we don't need him. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. And I'll show you just, if we ID this guy as the Mike linebacker, we would say, okay, that should probably do something, right? Let's see if everything's set up right. It doesn't actually work out. See, the offensive line works a little bit differently, but he still gets through really consistently. So then let's just show you also with a slide protect to the left, because we know the blitz is coming from there. And we'll ID that Mike that we know is blitzing. And then on our end, we'll go ahead and run that same setup. And it should still be able to come through nicely. Actually, sometimes he runs that tackle too, but you see how that comes in. Okay, so the blitz is solid. Again, you might want to kind of go back and try to understand in which cases you want to run the certain setups. But on the other end of thing, and this is where where things get really interesting here. Before you do that setup, what you're going to want to do is just base align and press. Oops. So base align. Am I base aligned? No, I'm not base aligned. So base align, triangle right, press, triangle down. And then you're going to have to reman your corners. Okay, so that's a lot of steps, but trust me, when you get good at it, it takes like 2 seconds. So you just, triangle, the icon up on the right stick, and then that other wide receiver. Now what that's going to do is going to make that press much better. Okay, so and then you'll want somebody fast and good at pressing and man coverage here. But what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to be able to run this cover zero without the fear of getting burnt over the top. So this is Julio Jones against Deion Sanders. And Deion Sanders isn't the best press guy, although he is, fast enough. So we'll just go ahead and run that. And you see how he kind of gets above him. Now, if you are just running regular press, and actually let me just get these guys off of their blitz. Julio Jones is going to torch him. See that? And you get a one-play touchdown. So if you want to run this, now you can run it just as it is with your man coverage guys playing off, but I'd say that's a little too safe. And we really want to benefit from that. It takes an extra second or two for your guy to even make his break. So even if he runs a slant route, let's go over here, Antonio Brown, really good route running. If he runs a slant route, it's going to delay him a little bit, and it's going to allow your blitz to come through. And so it's going to really suffocate the offense. So let's go ahead and run that. You see how he kind of gets in front of him, and see how he sticks with him. Okay, now let's show you the same thing with regular press. And I'll show you how Antonio Brown will just torch him. He just gets inside. Well, he didn't. He pretty much torched him. So yeah, that baseline press and remanning your cornerbacks is crucial in order to get this to work. Again, it's going to be great for protecting you deep against a go route or a fade. Now, it might not work well against, say, a double move or a forced outside release go route. I'll still have to kind of check into that, but you don't really see too many of those, and especially you won't see those if your opponent kind of isn't really expecting what you're doing here. Okay, so you could run Aggie Cloud Star or whatever you want for the first few downs, and then you could run this on third or fourth down, or mix it up however you want. But that's the beauty of this kind of 4-3 normal that we're starting to bring in here, is that we can start to bring pressure out of a number of different looks, whether it's a cover 2 shell or cover 0 shell, or we can drop back in coverage. We're really starting to show our diversity here, and without having to get too complex with nickel slot corners all over the place. We have everybody kind of compact right here. And again, it's good against the run game, like I showed kind of in the last video, and especially in this case. Okay, so I think this was introduced last year by Zan, where if you are doing this baseline press and remanning your corner, and I believe it only works for the situation where the wide receiver on that guy is off the line of scrimmage, like Julio Jones here, but usually that's the case. So in a run game, say you're running a stretch or inside zone, that cornerback's going to come in unblocked. So not only are you good in the middle of the field with this kind of 7-man box, but also to the outside, whether you're running a toss or a stretch, or you break your inside zone outwards, your cornerback's going to come in through. You see Sanders just actually, we'll show you guys the replay there. So that's a bit of a glitch that wasn't really patched from last year, but you see that. Okay, so you're good in a lot of different areas here. You're good in multiple different ways in the run game. You're great in terms of bringing heat, whether you have a blocked running back or you don't have a blocked running back, or you're slide protecting, you're IDing the mic. And you're also great in terms of coverage, because that remanning, the baseline press is adding a lot in terms of time for the wide receiver to make his break and time for him to get to separation, especially if you get somebody with decent press and a lot of speed. That's going to be really tough for them to hit anything on the outside. The running back's done. He's either blocking or he's getting covered by one of the linebackers. You're probably going to user one of those inside guys or try to get a little bit of both. You might want to find or invest in some good man coverage safeties, but you're solid in a lot of ways where cover 0 usually isn't, and even actually a lot of zones aren't. So yeah, I really like this. I can't wait to use a lot. I can't wait to hear from you guys if this is going to work out for you. I think this is going to be a really good complement to that Eggy Cloud Star, and I think it's going to help a lot of people win a lot of games. Okay, so that's that, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.